Could you use a quick tip daily? How about a tip that can impact your day? My name is Raphael. Join me as I bring you tips by experts around the world. These experts have shared their knowledge and wisdom with me and will directly share them with you. Make sure to subscribe, like, follow, and comment, and I would love for you to become part of the New Tip Daily community. Welcome back. Welcome back. New Tip Daily. We're just getting started. So, this is episode 7. I'm thrilled that you're going to take a few minutes to listen to a tip. Today's tip is going to be a good one. My name is Raphael. Yesterday's tip was on your elevator speech or pitch. Today, we'll be talking about keeping it relevant with the times and your speech or your pitch. What am I talking about? A lot of speakers, we've all seen speakers, amazing speakers, but how many times do you want to sit through the same speech over and over and over and over again? So the question is, when to change up your delivery, maybe even add some humor to your pitch or speech. When we're talking about a pitch is when you're trying to sell something, right? And you have to listen to your audience. Are they at the edge of their seats? Are they really listening to what you have to say? Or are they like, can't wait for this to be over? So listening and paying attention to your audience is important. So today's question is simple. Is your speech new or old? In reality, it would be new to someone who's never heard it before, right? And that's great. But let's consider someone who heard your speech not once, but 6, 7, maybe 20 times. And they probably know that's all you have. They already know what's coming. How engaged will they be? So again, I ask, new or old? How to avoid people thinking what you have to offer is old news. How do you do that? Listen, you can have the same material, but it's the delivery, it's how you present it. A lot of people may follow, um, for example, a show or a venue, and all of a sudden, one of the speakers that comes up in that venue just goes over and over and over the same thing. I understand they want to deliver that amazing content, but you have to consider the audience. Have they seen it before? Is it the same? Are you using the same presentation and it's just like, oh God, this person again? You don't want that. You can change it up, use different slides, use different presentation, different flyers, if you will, if you're having a pitch or if you're presenting a sales um, in a sales call, a sales meeting, change things up a little bit, right? The meat of your presentation should still be there. It should still be strong. But are you engaging? Do you have everyone's attention? I personally have heard some great speakers do the same speech or presentation verbatim. Makes them feel like they have nothing else to offer. Meanwhile, they do. They don't just they don't just realize how important their message can truly be if it's just tweaked that little bit every time they do a presentation. Let's get into this episode of the New Tip Daily Show. Consider your audience. That's one. Always, always consider your audience. And is this the right audience to listen to that part of your message? Maybe you have to change it, considering your audience. Maybe they're older, maybe they're younger, maybe you're in front of a mixed audience, whether age appropriate, is it gender specific, right? If you're going to, your topic is on how amazing men are, and you're giving this speech and it's a bunch of women, or if your speech is on how amazing women are and your audience is mostly men, so you may have to change the topic. You may have to change, the message may be the same, but certain parts of your speech or your pitch may have to change just to accommodate the audience. I'm not saying change the message. I'm just saying, listen, pay attention to what's going on. You should try to impress your audience and inspire something in them to want to hear your entire message. Listen, sometimes you may have the same speech, but you should have maybe 10, 20 different practiced speeches, so that at any moment, you may be called upon to give this speech, and boom, you have it. It's right there. But you can give that speech if the audience is not the one that is ready for your delivery of that message. So you have to have it for different levels, different audiences, um, maybe even throw in different jokes. Here's the thing, a lot of times your message can be through an image. The image can be a serious image, it can be a thought-provoking image, it can be a funny image. So whatever it is that you're doing, however it is that you're presenting, your pitch, your speech should be unique every single time you present it. Everyone should be thrilled to be in front of you, to hear you speak, because what you have to give the world may be of utmost importance. But if your delivery is off, if your message is the same boring thing every time, you're going to lose people. Very, very true. Just the other day, by the way, I am new on Twitch. I never knew I could do live on Twitch. So everybody on Twitch, how are you doing today? Thank you for even listening. But the other day I considered, even just checking somebody out, and it was somebody who was doing a show, and they kept making the promise over and over and over again. And I was reading the messages, and people were like, they keep making a promise, but they're not delivering. They keep making a promise, but I don't believe them anymore, because they've been making this promise over and over and over again, and they lost a lot of listeners. So when you make a promise in your speech, in your pitch, can you deliver? And then how long is your suspense for? How long can you tell somebody you're going to do something over and over and over and again and not do it? So consider, do you want to turn off your audience because you only have a tiny little bit that you can offer, or is your offer so big, and it should be, otherwise you should not be in front of a camera, an audience, or in front of a person if you keep making a promise and you keep falling short on your promise. So it's funny, this person kept saying, and as soon as the clock hits 0, I'm gonna do this or do that. And they had their timer set to 2, so it was oh 02, and it was 2 more seconds. And I read the comments, some people said, "Oh, I listened to this. They've been going on for this for 29 minutes. They keep making this promise that when it hits 0." Meanwhile, I just clicked away because I knew if somebody in the comments said 29 minutes, how long can somebody hold on for 29 minutes? So, good morning, James, and thank you, buddy, for being here. And yes, I appreciate you being here, and I hope I delivered something that you can take away. So, when we do public speaking, when we do even one on one, imagine if you met with someone one on one, and every single time, all they did was say the same thing over and over and over. It's like Groundhog Day, right? But even if you look at the movie Groundhog Day, he tried to change the scene every time. He tried, right? Until eventually it was no longer Groundhog Day. Let me tell you, that was a great movie because it lets us know that we need to really step up our game. We need to know what's going on with what we're doing, right? Here's one of the things that I suggest to anybody is practice your speech, but the most important thing is record your speech. And so that you have an archive of all the different speeches you've done. Every time when you do a speech, listen, the weather could have changed. You can add that to your speech, right? You could have gotten there a different way. Maybe because there was traffic, you had to go a different way. Maybe you flew to this event and you had to give a speech. Talk about that for, don't take the whole time doing it, but just for a minute and say, wow, I had to do a change. I had to change my routine because traffic, or I had to leave my house earlier because I know it was going to be snowing today, or there was a storm, or I knew that, it was a new place I was coming to, so I needed to make sure that I arrived on time. Do all these things, add a little bit of spice to your speech, and when doing that, more people will be engaged with you when you're real with them, right? Also, think about, what are you delivering? How important is the message that you're giving? Keep that in mind, and then keep them in mind. I want to thank you guys for being here today. I really appreciate it. James, again, my friend, thank you. And I can't wait to get together with you over the holidays. Everybody enjoy. And tomorrow, we have a fitness tip, right? A fitness tip on moving that body of yours, that gift that you have. Enjoy, everybody. Have an amazing rest of your day.